Sí, sí, para la mujer.
Okay guys, boom, I gotta show you what I did here. Check it out. So new exhaust was all solved now, and I got my new shocks on there. These are nitrogen filled compression shocks, and boy, what a difference these make. Oh my god, they actually take the bump and compress it and then bring you up slowly, as opposed to just and then bouncing you like crazy. The stability of the scooter has gone up tenfold. So I'm actually going to drive. I got a 13-mile ride. We're actually going to pick up my new my costume for Halloween. So I got a good ride over there. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the Hubsan. So let me crank this thing up, start getting her warmed up here. Yeah, 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 y'all need one of these. Gas prices are crazy. Get you one of these. You won't regret your decision. So we're gonna talk about Hubsan Texan specs today, because I gotta tell you guys, I think there's a lot of delusional people out there that think this thing's actually good, and that's because you fall under what I call the Texan specs people. So we're gonna talk about all that today. During this ride, we're gonna cover some ground, and I hope you guys have a better understanding of Texan specs after this is over with, and if the understanding of just because something says it's got great Texan specs doesn't mean that it works well, and we'll get into that. So let's get on the road here. Take the next left. Okay, good thing I got my earpiece in. So in a lot of my older videos, guys, before we get talking about the Hubsan, I do have a lot of people asking what I'm driving around and why it's so fast. And because they see it as a scooter, they see, oh my god, GPS, be quiet. They see it as a scooter format, like this thing looks like a scooter, so people think it's scooter speeds. Well, it is a scooter, but it's also a Class A motorcycle. This does go 80 miles an hour. This is a very fast, large scooter, 300 cc's, so it's a big scooter. It goes fast. It's the equivalent of a decent, you know, even over a starter bike. Starter bike's like a 250. This thing's even larger than a normal starter bike. So this does have a lot of pickup, pep, and go. This is definitely a large scooter. That's why it goes so fast. So it's perfect for around my area in town. You don't really need anything more. If you do have to jump on the highway, it is definitely highway capable. So yeah. So let's talk about this Hubsan Texan specs thing. You know, we're gonna get involved in this Hubsan Texan specs thing, because I gotta be honest with you, man, a lot of you guys are very confused. You see great Texan specs that's being shouted out, you know, you guys see all these Texan specs being talked about by other people, and I think in all reality, you're being had. Okay, most of these newer drones have cell phone cameras on them. That's really the extent of the camera stuff. So when they give you all these like Texan specs, like, oh, 1/5/8 sensor, and you know, happens this, and Sony sensor this, and blah 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 blah. Most of the time, a lot of that's just mumbly jumbly, and they're not going to be good cameras. That's just being honest with you. Now, when DJI puts out something and they give you Texan specs, 90% of the time they're pretty close to the mark, and a lot of their cameras actually do very well at night. A lot of these cheaper drones that you buy don't do very well at night. Their cameras are just not good at night, and the FIMIs are no different. The FIMI drones are the same way. But a lot of you guys are being had by Texan specs, and you're being convinced that, sorry, kind of a rough bump there. You're being convinced that these things are totally worth it, based on like, oh, obstacle avoidance, and you know, oh, it's got all these things. These are all features that normal pilots don't use. Just to be clear, these are all features that normal pilots don't use or care about at all. Okay, so I find it amusing when people get had by the extra $200 price point on the Mini because of obstacle avoidance. Like, you will find you're barely ever going to use it, and if you just put a little time in behind the sticks, you won't even need it. All right, the only time that would become a thing where you would actually probably need it is if you were doing any follow me functions, and even then, just find a nice open area anyways. You shouldn't even be using obstacle avoidance, because technically a lot of you are going to want to get side shots, and it can't do it going sideways. It's going to hit a tree, or it's going to hit something, because there's no side mount obstacle avoidance. So the only time you can really use this thing predictably well is if you're going forward or backwards with it in follow me modes. So I mean, right there you've already stunted what it's capable of. Now, I apologize for the wind, guys. I have no choice. It's just going to be a windy ride. But with that being said, I suppose I could be going a little faster. Let's pick up the speed here. Right, I'm at least flowing with traffic. How about that? And now I'm going almost 60, so apparently I have to speed to get people to recognize that I'm fast. So anyways, guys, a lot of you get had by Hubsan techs and specs, okay? You hear that it's better than DJI. Oh, the camera's going to be better. All these things are going to be better. And you read the techs and specs, and then you try to compare that to DJI, and you're like, oh, DJI doesn't do this, and it doesn't do that. I will make you a bet DJI does it better. Just because they say they have a really great camera and they have all these really great things for it, does not mean that it's better, okay? DJI has an amazing group of R&D people that know how to write firmware, that understand how to construct proper software and apps. They get the job done. So even though Hubsan might have better techs and specs on the book, getting those techs and specs to function as well as a DJI product is just nominal. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. They're not DJI. So I caution you guys, when it comes to Hubsan products, there are better options out there, and most of you, if you just buy a DJI Mini 2, are going to figure that out really, really fast. Notice there's not too many people comparing the Mini 2 versus the Hubsan Zino Mini, because they want their $50 for getting a positive review for the company. And yes, I said that correctly. The company is offering a $50 reward to anybody who says good things about their drone. Yes, you heard that correct. We have seen the email now from a number of different people showing that they are being offered money from the company to make this thing, to make a good review. And that to me is a very shady thing to do as a marketing campaign. That's very shady. That's extremely shady. That's, yeah. Regardless of the point, right? I'm talking about techs and specs. You guys are being had by Hubsan's techs and specs, and just because, like I said, they sound good on paper does not mean that they're going to be better than DJI products, because I promise you, they're not going to be better than DJI products, right? So,
alright, what's up guys? I'm home now. So let's finish this off here. So Hubsan techs and specs. Don't be had by what Hubsan does. And I'm being serious here. Stop and think about this for a sec, okay? This company is only known for making very basic drones for the average user. They're not a company that's ever been realistically up there with Autel or, you know, DJI or Unique or any of these. You know, I don't even think that their drones are as good as Fimi. And Fimi's like a in-between company, you know. I think most Parrot products, honestly, were way better. So they're not up there with Parrot, you know, Unique, Autel, or DJI. Now, though Parrot and Unique have kind of dropped out of the running and they're not really producing drones, I'm saying you have to look at this from a standpoint of what it's going against. So the only thing that it really, in my mind, is competing with is the Fimi Mini. It's not competing with DJI. And almost any DJI product that you have put against the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro, it's going to get spanked. It's just going to get spanked all over the place. So I caution you to be aware of, just because it has the good techs and specs on paper does not mean the functionality of those techs and specs is going to be good. And that's because the company itself just does not understand how to properly write firmware or software for their drones. We've seen this time and time again with every single one of their releases. Everything looks great on paper, they release it, and then 90% of the time they never even finish the drone. They never get it, you know, corrected for the heck. I had the Zino, it did caterwalk, which means that when you push forward on the stick, no matter what, it will always walk sideways, like crab walk sideways. That was going forward and backwards. They never resolved that. The tilted horizon thing, that is an ongoing thing with not just Hubsan, Fimi too. Fimi has a real nasty habit of making drones that just cannot get the horizon tilt correct. So be careful. You're not going to run into these problems with DJI. Their drones are cheaper if you're looking for the mini route, and they are going to function better. Do not be had by Hubsan. I promise you, this drone is not worth it. The techs and specs sound great, but when it comes to actually showing the capabilities, it is subpar compared to what DJI has to offer. Okay, the only thing in my mind that it really has going for it is obstacle avoidance, and I never use it. And I think probably over 80% of the pilots out there never use obstacle avoidance. So what are you really paying the extra $200 for? If you notice, the affiliate links for anybody that's pushing it is higher priced than just buying it from Banggood as a standard purchase, or buying it from Alibaba or AliExpress or any one of those. They're all $4.99. The affiliate links are like flash sale, $520 from $659, and they were selling it, the affiliate links, for $659. So you're already being had by the people that are trying to sell it. They want a big payout for it, unfortunately. They're looking for a huge payout. So you're paying way over what the product is worth if you're buying it from these affiliate people. So just, if you are going to buy the damn thing, buy it for the $4.99 price point from somewhere else. Don't buy it from the affiliate links. I hate to do that, because then you're taking money out of somebody's pocket, but at the same time, you are really overpaying for this product. Okay? And if you want my opinion, buy the Mini 2 or wait for the Mini 3, because I promise you it's just going to be better, and I guarantee the release is just going to be better. I'm trying to save you guys money and frustration factor. Literally, this drone has so many requirements to get it functioning properly. Just the way you have to set it up doesn't make sense. It's just old school. It's old school. This company cannot seem to get out of this need to do really old school stuff from like 7 years ago to get the drone up in the air and functioning. It's really kind of a shitty thing that they do to you guys. Like, dude, if you're serious about buying Hubsan products, you may as well just get into FPV, because the amount of time and effort it takes to learn how to get a Hubsan in the air and get it set up and download this firmware package and install this and make the gimbal work properly and do all this. You could have learned how to fly FPV and give up GPS completely and just go full manual. And I can't, guys, don't do it to yourself. I don't need your money, Hubsan. I'm not looking for $50. I'm not even going to buy your drone, because I know what I'm going to get, and I'm not going to do it to myself. And I'm encouraging you guys not to do it. Don't do it to yourself, man. I apologize if you bought one. Figure out how to get rid of it. Get your money back. Whatever. Go buy a DJI Mini 2 or wait for the Mini 3. Trust me, you're just going to be such a much happier person. Much happier person. A lot of people that got into this hobby and purchased Hubsan products, okay, when they were making, really cheap platforms that were decent. Yeah, they didn't have, good gimbals. Most of them, like the 501S, was actually a really decent platform, though it had TOD for a while that needed to be corrected. The platform itself was actually really cheap. It was like $250, and that was really affordable at the time for people that were getting into the hobby. And even though you had to do a whole bunch of extra stuff like constant firmware updates and this and this and this and extend your range and take the controller apart and do all this other stuff, it was kind of a fun learning curve. You shouldn't have to do that with a $700 price point platform. If you're buying from the affiliate links, they're charging you almost $700. And this flash sale, $520 flash sale crap that they're doing right now, you're still overpaying for it, because you can buy it from everywhere else for $4.99. Don't buy Hubsan products. Not yet. Not yet, anyways. Wait until they solve the problems on this thing. I don't care how many videos you've seen. Don't send me the Captain Drone review video. That guy is just, everything he does, he basically says is good, or it could be corrected in the future. No, this is a company, he knows damn well this is a company that is known for not finishing drones and then just going, oh, well, we'll just produce something else and they'll buy it because it's cheap. So let's just do that. And then they never finish the old drone. Basically, all the people that bought it suck it. They don't care. So there you go. All right, guys. Drone worship from somewhere in beautiful Tampa, Florida. If you guys like my content, you like the honesty, smash that subscribe button. Turn on the notification button so you guys get more updates. I do have some fun stuff coming. Unfortunately, our weather has just been horrible. As you can see, every time I fly, it's like cloudy and just crap. It's crap outside. So it's been like 2 weeks of this now. It really sucks. But today, I had stuff to do, so I took my FPV gear, went out and flew. It's a good time. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to. If you like my content, you like the honesty. I'm trying to save you money, man. I really am. Money and frustration. These are the two things I'm trying to save you, because I want you to get into this hobby and I want you to have a positive interaction with this hobby, and Hubsan is not going to be that positive interaction. Over 70% of you are not going to have a good time if you purchase a Hubsan product. Let's just put it that way. So, all right, guys. I'm out. Toodaloo.
Good afternoon. Please give your attention to my associate, Agent J. He's going to demonstrate an electro-biomechanical neural transmitting zero synapse repositioner. We call it the neuralizer. Keep it simple, Sled.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Agent K. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.